The Bible is Black history. Separate worlds. Genesis 10:25 and 1 Chronicles 1:19 reads, Two sons were born to Eber. One was named Peleg, because in his time the earth was divided. His brother was named Joktan. Why are these verses important? Because it agrees with science, and science agrees with the Bible that the earth was once divided. Some say that these verses don't refer to an actual physical division of the earth, but instead they interpret the verses to mean that the division was of language and tribal groups, as true to the Tower of Babel. However, the Tower of Babel event happened after the time of Peleg, so that division was completely separate. The first reference of Peleg is found in Genesis 10:25. Following in Genesis 11 is the Tower of Babel. Therefore, I would have to disagree with the interpretation of a cultural divide. This was a physical division of the earth. Science shows us that continents of the earth were divided at this time. And it shows that these shifts have occurred several times throughout the history of the world. Scientifically, these dividers or divisions are called continental drifts, or a shift in the tectonic plates. Additionally, if you have watched my video on the Promised Land, you will see that a physical division of the earth is happening in today's time as we speak. There are other verses which show us that there were divides and divisions of the earth. Genesis 4:14, for example, reads, Behold, thou have driven me out this day from the face of the earth. From thy face I shall be hid, and I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth, and it shall come to pass that every one that findeth me shall slay me. Now that's Cain speaking. The fact that Cain was driven from the face of the earth lets us know that he had to go somewhere. He went into the land of Nod, a completely different earth with a completely different God. Joshua 24:2 says, And Joshua said unto the people, Thou saith the Lord of Israel, your father dwelt on the other side of the flood in old times, even Terah, the father of Abraham, and the father of Nachor, and they served other gods. It tells us there that there were other lands on the other side of the flood, and that they served other gods there. We'll have more on that as we study. The point I'm making here is that according to the Bible, there are other gods, and they have their own plots of earth. This is supported both biblically and scientifically. It's factual. Another thing to remember is that we can gather these conclusions from the suppressed information that we have. A lot more on this subject was left to us by our God, but it has been altered, suppressed, and changed by the smaller gods. In our first lesson, I introduced to you the ape creatures from which the white race evolved. The reason I started with this creation is because this is the race that we have been warned about throughout the Bible. As we study, you will find that there were other creations, each God having its own creation and its own image. We were told not to marry these creations or to reproduce with any of these. These creatures, they call you monkey, yet they must shave their backs, arms, legs, nose, ears, and even tongue daily. They are not you, but a different creation that once dwelled in a completely separate world. Moving forward, please use this as inspiration to research and understand that there were different worlds, separate worlds, and there are different gods, separate gods. Study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth.